Welcome back to another video. This is Andy from gymnutrition.co.uk. So I want to talk today about Rad140 and what is it. I've done a few videos on Rad140 before and my own experiences with it. I'm still getting a lot of people, oh, what's this Rad140? What's this Rad140 you keep going on about? So what I'm going to do now is read off my little notes that I've done, my little bullet points, and I'm going to go through briefly what Rad140 does. The good, bad and the ugly really. So Rad140 is a SARM, okay? So if you don't know what a SARM is, Google it because it's just easier and it makes this video too long if I explain exactly what a SARM is. But SARM stands for Selective Androgen Receptor Modulator, so that's the long word of SARM. So it's basically a research chemical. So all SARMs are research chemicals, so they're not fit for human consumption. So in the case of Rad140, they was actually trying to develop a male contraceptive pill, and they found that I haven't read all of the details on it, but let's summarise it and say they found out that it wasn't that successful as a male contraceptive pill, so it was canned. So is it legal in sport? Yes and no, really. So the yes bit, it's legal in sport if you are not drug tested. So if you're entering like a bodybuilding competition that doesn't carry any drug testing, then it's fully legal. If you're, say on the other end of the scale, if you're like an Olympic athlete that obviously gets drug tested, then it will be illegal and you'll be thrown out and it will show up as you are taking steroids. So that's the legality in the sport. So are you natural? It's not a steroid, it's a SARM. So, oh, I'm a natty bodybuilder, but I only take Rad140 or LGD or whatever SARM you take. So if you take any SARM product or any growth hormone product or a growth hormone secretagogue like MK677, then you are not natural. These are chemicals, so they are not natural compounds, they are chemicals, not for human consumption. So the answer to that is no, you won't be natural if you take these. Right, Rad140 is anabolic. So what is anabolic? Anabolic is the good gains bit. So if you look at steroids, they are anabolic and androgenic. I'll come to the androgenic bit in a second. But anabolic refers to the muscle building. So you have the muscle building effects, the power, the strength, you know, all your size increases, a little bit of fat loss that's going to come along with that as well. So that's your anabolic. So you will be a lot stronger with the anabolic effect from Rad140 or, like I say, any other SARMs. Is it stronger than testosterone? Well, this is the little bit controversial bit, because most things that I've read and most of the videos that I've actually watched on Rad140, everybody says it's stronger than testosterone, and some people are claiming it's 30 to 40% stronger than testosterone. And if you've took testosterone and you've took Rad, you'll think it's definitely not stronger than testosterone. I've taken testosterone and I've taken Rad140, and I get far greater effects in size, strength and performance and everything else by taking testosterone. Now if you look a little bit deeper into that, rather than just capping it there, testosterone, you would need to take a higher amount. So someone like me that's took test before, I haven't took any like injectable testosterone for probably 8 or 9 years, but when I was taking it, I went up to something around about 1,000 milligrams a week of testosterone, and that gave me the maximum sort of bang for the bucks, if you like. So with the Rad140, you're only taking between sort of like, an average dose is like 10 to 20 milligrams in a capsule form or a liquid, however it comes. You're taking between 10 and 20 milligrams a day. Maximum dose, I would say, is around about 30. Anything higher than 30, don't seem to get any great results. So if you take 40, I tried 40 milligrams for a while, and it wasn't any greater results for taking 40 for me personally than taking 30 milligrams. So I think you get to a certain dose and then it sort of like levels off. So there's no point in taking 100 milligrams because it won't be any better than taking 20 or 30 milligrams. So if you look at the dose of Rad you have to take on a daily basis versus the dose of testosterone to get the maximum effect, then the dose of the Rad140 is a lot lower than the testosterone dose. Okay, so if you look at it in that way, you can honestly say that Rad140, gram for gram, milligram for milligram, whatever, is a lot stronger than testosterone. Now, androgenic Is it androgenic? Well, what is androgenic? Well, androgenic's the bad bits. So you get the good bits, the anabolic bits, all the muscle building bits. Like with a steroid, you get androgenic, anabolic. So anabolic, good bits. Androgenic is the bad bits you don't really want. So the bad bits you don't really want is, for a man, is gonna, if it's a man taking it of course, is more hair growth. Definitely not on the head, but on the chest, on the arms. I've got really hairy arms. Whether it's testosterone or androgenic effect from SARMs or whatever, I don't know, I might just be hairy. So you get hairy, you get more aggressive, you get more water retention, some people can get spots from it as well. Blood pressure increase is a possibility, higher cholesterol possibility. So you get all the bad, nasty bits with the androgenic side effects. Now, is Rad140 androgenic? The answer to that is very, very slightly androgenic. So if you look at, again, if you compare it with testosterone is kind of like that much androgenic, say, and then Rad140 will be like that much androgenic. So there is a little bit of androgens in there, but very, very mild. Now, apparently, I haven't, not that I've had any personal experience with this whatsoever. This is just what I've read, so don't shoot the messenger. But apparently women can take Rad140 in small doses, 5 to 10 milligrams a day. So I've read, so I've heard on the internet, so I've seen on YouTube. They can take 5 to 10 milligrams a day, and they don't seem to get the androgenic effects. Now, let me point out, everybody is different, okay? So let's use this as an example. Smoking, people that smoke have generally got a defense. Oh, my granddad, this is the classic one that I get all the time. Oh, well, my granddad smoked 60 fags a day, and he smoked from like he was 14 and he died when he was 90. And I'm like, yeah, well that's great, but your granddad is kind of 1 in 1,000. So the other 999 probably died of lung cancer, you know, before they were 90, and smoking 20 fags a day, not 60. So you get where I'm coming from. It's like, you know, some people will drink a lot of alcohol, they'll be fine all the time. Some people drink a small bit of alcohol for a few years and they have a blood test and they find out that their liver enzymes are all over the place because of the small amount of alcohol. So we're all made up different. So there's no like, oh, that definitely won't do this or it definitely will do this. The only way you're gonna know, like I've said on previous videos, if you want to know exactly what's going on, you need blood tests. You need blood tests before, get all your levels, and then run a course of, in this case, Rad140 or whatever it happens to be that you're running, and see what's happened on your blood test. Then that's the only 100% way you're going to know what's going on. But we can safely say that Rad140 is very low in androgens. So estrogenic effect. So the estrogenic effect is mainly going to be estrogen is like the female hormone, yeah? So it will have a very, very, again, like the androgen side, it'll have a very, very small estrogenic effect, but it will be tiny, tiny, tiny. So how can you tell when you got an estrogenic effect? Like if you take a shitload of testosterone, you're going to have a massive, I mean, you imagine this head big, it's like a friggin' moon, proper moon head, yeah? A lot almost Chinese with my eyes going. So a lot, that's water retention. The water retention comes from the estrogenic effect. So Rad140 is very, very low. Me personally, when I've taken Rad140 on its own, I didn't get any visible signs of water retention. Yeah. So again, there might have been a little bit there, but not enough to show. You know, people weren't saying, "Oh, look at the size of your head. What have you been taking?" Unlike when I took LGD. Now, LGD is another story that made my head fat, like bloaty looking, to the extent where people who I hadn't seen for 3 or 4 weeks, and then all of a sudden I'll see them in the gym or out and about or whatever, and then they'd be like, "Cool, what are you taking? Look at the size of you." I look big, but my head was big as well. They're like, "Oh, you, what have you been taking? What have you been taking?" I've been taking. At the time, I took a product called Venom, which is LGD, Rad140, MK677 in like a liquid form, yeah, oral liquid. And that made me really bloaty. Now I've taken Rad on its own, I've taken MK on its own, and with Rad, no problems with water retention. As soon as I put the LGD in it, water retention. So the LGD is very estrogenic in that instant, whereas Rad140 for me personally is not. But as I said, we're all individuals, so you might get a slight bit of water retention with Rad140 and Androgenic. Rad140. Now, how do you feel when you take Rad140? Well, me personally, I felt great. I felt like I got a lot of energy. I felt I was buzzing to go to the gym. I was all enthusiastic. A lot of that's in there because my strength went through the friggin' roof. In the first couple of weeks, my strength went through the roof. To the extent where every single workout, so like I do like chest, international chest day on a Monday. I do chest on a Monday as well at the moment, and my dumbbell bench press, which is like my main compound exercise that I was doing at the time, was going up. So I typically do sort of like eight reps ish on my heavy set on a slight incline bench press, yeah, on the dumbbells. Every single workout, it was like, oh, start on like, I can't remember the weights. Well, let's say 44 kilos, which is like, I don't know, 90 pounds if you're watching in the States. So I was on 44 kilo dumbbells for about 8 reps, forced rep with my training partner on the last one, yeah? So 44s, and then the next week it'd be 46s for the same amount of reps, then 48s, then 50s, 52s, 54, yeah, I maxed out at 54s for like 8 reps. So it was going up every single workout. So of course you're more enthused to get in because you think, oh, I can't wait to see how strong I am today. So for me personally, my strength went through the friggin' roof, and for most people that I've come across that have taken it, exactly the same. Nobody said didn't really work on the strength, kind of didn't feel any stronger. Everyone's stronger. Pumps as well, massive pumps. You only got to do a couple of lighter, warm-up sets, and then you think, oh my god, my chest feels so big, full, pumped, bloated looking. You're getting veins sticking out everywhere, and you think, oh god, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you think, oh, this stuff is the nuts. It's proper like really working. So for me, fantastic pumps. I've already covered the dosage. The dosage 10 to 20 milligrams. I didn't go as low. No, I didn't go as low as 10. I didn't go as low as 10. I started on 20 milligrams a day, and I chose to split that. I had 10 milligram. I think they were 10 milligram caps. So I had 10 milligrams in the morning, whatever time, 8 o'clock, and then in the evening, sort of like roughly about 8 o'clock. Then I'd have the other 10 milligrams. So I went up to 20 milligrams. I'm sure I tried 30 for a while actually. I can't remember, this was about a year ago. I might have went up to 30 on one lot. See, I'm making this up because I don't know for definite, but I'm pretty sure I went up to 30 for about a week or so. It was towards the end of the course, and I thought, you know what? Everything started to plateau a bit, and I thought, I'll just bang it up to 30 for a week and see what happens, and then I'll start bringing it down a little bit. So I banged it up to 30 for just like a week or so, and I didn't really notice a great deal of difference between 20 and 30. Okay, it's only a week, so maybe it wasn't long enough, but it's certainly you don't want to be abusing the dose. So that's that. So far this stuff is amazing. So let's get on to the bad bits, because with every good thing you get, there's always a bad side to it as well. It doesn't matter what it is. Every single drug that you get, all these prescription drugs for everything, there's always a patient leaflet inside, and it will say this drug treats this, it's great for that, it's prescribed by my doctor, it must be good, it's going to cure whatever I've gone in for to cure, yeah? But there's always a list like that of it can cause nausea, vomiting, and there'll be a bloody great list of the bad bits as well. So for every and don't forget, SARMs are drugs, they're research chemicals, they're drugs, they're not passed for human consumption, so you shouldn't take them. If you do take them, it's down to you. I mean, look, as I've said on my previous videos, and I normally do this at the start and I forgot, but this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just giving you my view on what Rad140 is and what Rad140 done for me, and if you want to take it, then obviously that's down to you. It's nothing to do with me. But blood pressure, on the bad bits, blood pressure. Can it increase blood pressure? Well, yes and no. Again, going back to that we're all different bit. Some people find that it does increase blood pressure. Some people that take steroids can take, if I take, again, going back to when I was on like a gram of test a week, my blood pressure went through the friggin' roof. I've got a blood pressure monitor at home and I'll take my blood pressure and it just starts creeping up to kind of not a good level. And that was like 8 or 9 years ago, the last time I've taken it. So I'm thinking, you know what, I'm done with steroids, and like I said, I haven't took them for 8 or 9 years, and at my age, at 54, it's kind of like, do I want to be taking it? I can just imagine the conversation. It'd be like, oh yeah, that Andy was a big old bugger, weren't he? It's a shame he fucking had an heart attack and died. He was a nice chap, weren't he? Yeah. I can just imagine that conversation. So you've got to, like, you know, you use that a little bit, you know, when you get to, especially when you get to my age. But blood pressure, it can put it up a bit, but it will be very dependent on you as an individual. But blood pressure is the most easiest frigging thing to monitor, because you can buy a blood pressure monitor for 20-30 £, yeah? Like, if you're in America, you can probably buy it in Walmart for $10 or whatever, for a blood pressure monitor, and you can monitor your blood pressure at home. It is very simple, easy, cheap, convenient, So there's no excuse not to monitor your blood pressure. So if you're on any SARMs or any steroids or whatever, then I would recommend getting a blood pressure monitor. If your blood pressure goes up, then I would suggest, if you was going to take it, down to you, then I would suggest you either lower the dose or just come off altogether. Blood pressure normally goes up with water retention. So going back to is it estrogenic, and the answer to that question was not very much estrogenic, so therefore Rad140, you're not going to hold a lot of water. So looking at that, in theory, if you're not holding a lot of water, you shouldn't have an increase in blood pressure. But like I said, it might increase it a little bit. Me personally, like I said again, I keep saying like I said, doing a Lee Priest. Like I said, me on testosterone, my blood pressure went up, but I was holding a lot of water. Me on Rad140, my blood pressure stays the same. So it didn't affect my blood pressure one way or the other. So that's good for me. Cholesterol, again, the same scenario with the holding the water and the blood pressure. It can increase cholesterol slightly. Whether it did for me or not, I don't know. Steroids definitely increase my blood pressure and increase my cholesterol levels, because I've had them tested when I was on gear back in the day. And my cholesterol, to be honest, is always hovering on the slightly high side as it is, so I don't really need it going any higher. So it can increase cholesterol levels, and it can also, there's two lots of cholesterol. There's HDL, which is the good stuff, so it can lower that slightly, which is not good. You want the good to be high, and the LDL, the bad cholesterol, you want that to be low. So steroids or SARMs can slightly higher the bad cholesterol, lower the good cholesterol. So again, you're not going to know exactly if that affects you unless you have a cholesterol test. So be in mind of that. Liver damage effects are going to be very, very minimal, if nothing at all. Again, with steroids, especially oral steroids like, you know, Dianabol and Napolon on the very bad side, they're going to damage your liver quite a lot. Rad140, to be honest, I've lost the bloody blood test results, but I did have a blood test probably 6 months ago, and I got the doc to print me out a copy of it, and I thought, I'm going to do a video on that, because everything was fine, and I've been on and off SARMs for probably about a year. So me personally, no liver effects whatsoever, but again, who knows with you individually, you're only going to know with the blood test. Hair thinning, well, there's a good one, isn't it? So if I didn't take testosterone and Rad140, sitting here now, I'd probably have a full head of hair. I don't think so, but steroids and SARMs can thin your hair a little bit, but steroids maybe quite a bit. SARMs, Rad, whatever, tiny bit. But again, it's genetic. If you're predisposed genetically to lose your hair, I obviously am. Hey, I can't be good looking and a bear, I suppose. So I'm going to lose my hair anyway. I mean, my hair was pretty much half gone when I was like 26 years old. So I don't think it was brought on by steroids. I mean, you never know. If I hadn't taken any steroids, I mean, I was pretty bald. I was probably bald by the time I was like early 30s. So if I didn't take any steroids, I would still be bald. But instead of being bald at 32, 33, I might have been bald at 38, 39 instead. So it's still coming. My dad's bald. He's never taken steroids in his life. Still bald. It's just genetics, isn't it? So I don't think that's a major one. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say on the matter. If you've got any questions about Rad140, or I'll tell you what you can do, please leave a comment below as well. If you want me to talk about anything any other specific topics or whatever, then please give me some content ideas, because I might go a week without doing a video and I think to myself, well, I need to do a video, but I'm not inspired to do a video. So you guys will be helping me out massively if you leave that in the comments. Talk about whatever, yeah? Apart from that, if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, give me a thumbs down, whatever, just so I know that you're there. And please consider subscribing to my little tiny YouTube channel, and that'll be wonderful. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.